Hi there, I'm Frank Craven. Thanks for tuning in to What's Ailing? Healing America, a question we have a right and duty to ask and answer. Because we live in a democracy, not a dictatorship. The ongoing game of authority versus majority is always, throughout history, the king sends the peon off to war. And war is false. War doesn't mean anything. It's especially in the age of new age, satellite, digital TV, internet, communications, we know that we're all just one vast human family, and there's no need for prejudice or warfare. It's a thing of the past. It's primitive and barbaric. And of course, if we want to stop them flag burning and the Islamic Jihad, we learn to speak Arabic and understand why are you so angry at us. And communication, we learn that in nursery school. It's called conflict resolution. So hopefully we'll have a peace in this world, and it begins with self. And I'm thankful to be here and be alive and have you tune in and help me pray for peace and figure out what the next step is for us. And this week I'm very proud and happy to introduce a friend of mine who's a world-traveled energy healer, medicine teacher of many. Well, why don't you introduce yourself? Hello, this is Rashmi. Hi, Rashmi.
Hi. It's really wonderful to be here on the Big Apple with Frank, who's a great friend and soulmate, fellow healer. I'm Rashmi, and I'm Indian, and I live in London, and I teach all over the world. I teach Reiki masters and other committed healers and people that are teaching and healing and creating centers all over the world in hospitals, doctors, lawyers. All sorts of people are now learning Reiki and the other energy medicine modalities that people, teachers like myself, teach. And these teachings cover the wisdom teachings of all time. So we go into the ancient Egyptian mystery schools and the Tibetan systems and the Hindu, the Vedantic wisdom, etc., which took years and lifetimes in the past to receive initiations in all these sacred teachings. But now the time has come, as we move towards 2012 and the ending of the Mayan calendar that a lot of us know about. It's time to wake up and to a higher paradigm of consciousness. So a lot of these gifts are being re-given to people on a very quick basis as we begin to wake up and make giant leaps forward.
Right on. Yeah, the world, unfortunately, the ice caps are melting, and there's major climactic changes. But also spiritually speaking, instead of the regular reincarnate cycle in the fourth and third dimension, we're going to be going into the fifth and sixth dimensions in a natural way and make big quantum leaps. Because already we've mapped the gene code, we know the DNA, we just landed on the moon, we split the atom. All of a sudden all bets are off. All technology, all secrets are revealed. So in the world of spirit, which is very mysterious, it's very clear that there's a whole new dynamics of wealth of information and truth that's coming forth. And suddenly, even on mainstream TV, they have mediums and channels and people talking to the world of spirit like never before. And it's great that there's a lot of breakthroughs going on. So how can what's an exercise we can do that you can teach us and help us to just breathe in and feel comfortable with this vast world of knowledge and spirit that's gifting us?
Babaji, who is my great teacher, he taught Jesus, Elijah, Moses. He's the ascended Christ Yogi from the autobiography of a yogi.
Right. Autobiography from a Yogi is a book by Paramahansa Yogananda, which is a classic. It's a great book.
Most of the audience have read this book and have heard about it. Or they have done Kriya Yoga or rebirthing, which is another form of healing that Babaji has offered to the planet. He's the Christ, consciousness, and Christ consciousness is unity consciousness, and he very much teaches truth, love, and simplicity. So if, wherever in our lives we're being complicated, wherever in our lives, we're not in our own truth as opposed to our conditioning, that's where we can start making shifts. And, just breathing, seeing where your breath is, can make a big difference. Learning Reiki, which is a very, very simple, easy, non-denominational way of bringing in universal life force energy to heal yourself and others, which is happening in England and all over the world in hospitals and everywhere now. That's another wonderful way of stabilizing in chaos. And there is going to be more and more chaos on the planet. But out of this confusion is co-fusion. Out of this confusion, a new order, a new paradigm is emerging, and people are coming together, and we are getting beyond, our race and various things, and coming into a space of harmony. So by breathing, meditating, meditation just totally changes your life. And the 20 different modalities I teach cover, the breath, vibration, sound, and light.
Wonderful. I just want to interrupt you when you talked about meditation, that, meditation is free, it's easy, it's just sitting still. People sit for hours in front of the TV and zone out. Or just, and all it is just being at peace within yourself, and really aligning up your senses and connecting with the perfect peace and abiding love that is ever present, manifest. Space is always real and constant. Space is space. And when we've entered that quiet space within our own mind and allow us to sit for a few minutes, even though it's nothing, it's supposedly boring, it's actually tremendously healing, and it's very simple, and it's something that should be taught in schools, actually, in elementary schools. Instead of kids taking Ritalin or Paxil or drugs, just, okay, it's timeout time for 3 minutes, silence and sitting still. If they just did that as a discipline from early on, suddenly society and people would learn to say, okay, I'm gonna calm down and not get all emotional and upset, right?
That's right. So,
and I would like you to share with us how you can help teach healing, or not healing, energy. Some people have told me, oh, I don't have enough energy. I don't know how you do it, Frank, because I sleep very little. I'm always going. But one of my tricks is just alternate breathing, this way and that, or just deep breathing, deep pranayama, and you oxygenate the blood. And with oxygen, you have more energy, and you get strong, you get energized, because energy is out there and available to us, right? What other techniques or ideas do you have about that as far as getting energy?
Well, when you learn these different modalities, you're initiated into them, and you learn how to channel that universal life force energy through your crown chakra into all your chakras and into your four-body system, which is, we're not just physical bodies, we're also mental, emotional, and spiritual bodies. So that's what you learn. And you learn about grounding and protection. So yes, we're all healers, but it's a bit like, tuning into channel 4. You have to be able to tune into channel 4, but the television is capable of tuning into various channels. And that's what these different initiations help us with.
Oh, I see.
And
so
they
you
connect
do workshops that set in motion like ancient Egyptian stuff, or what?
These initiations into Sekhem or Seishim or Karuna Reiki reconnect us to lifetimes where we've been lamas, or we've been in the ancient sacred temples of Egypt, the mystery school teachings and so on. And they are given to us in a very easy format, but you have lineages, and it's not just willy-nilly. It's within a format of Reiki, which is universal life force energy.
Huh. Well, great. I imagine that if a person wants to learn from you, it'd be great to be in person and you go through a structured class, but maybe they could just, before they go to bed at night, just say, please God, take me there, and I want to go to this next level of higher consciousness. And next thing you know, through the astral world and their spirit and their intention, their prayer intention, will bring them into that which their soul memory or has forgotten, right?
Yes, that is correct, and that is happening all over the world. But by learning these energy modalities, you have a structure, and these are very, very sacred teachings. So to just go off astrally on your own, a lot of the energy is in the New Age movement is all up in the clouds, and people become sort of like airheads. There's no grounding of the energy, there's no understanding of protection, there's no understanding of awareness, and so on. So just as you go to school and college and learn things, there is a format of learning within shamanism, within energy medicine, and various modalities. But now what's happening is that these are being given very quickly and easily to people, and the gaps of assimilation time, etc., are being reduced, because time has literally collapsed as we speak, and scientists know this. And quantum physics has already explained that we are multidimensional, which is that a particle can exist in two places at the same time. So what the scientists know is what the metaphysicians have been talking about for ages. And a lot of people say, well, unless I can see this, touch it, feel it, hear it, or know it, I cannot understand intuition. And these are the things that are amplified through each initiation. So just becoming a Reiki master isn't the end, you know. There is deeper and deeper levels of expanding your consciousness to cover all of the universe and the manifest and the unmanifest.
Okay, well, I follow you, except for when you said that time has collapsed as we know it, because as far as we know, we measure time by the planetary orbit and what we call the sunrise. Well, it's really the planet spinning and the sun stays in the same spot, even though the galaxy is spinning. But basically, the orbit and the rhythm of the planetary orbit is the same. Why? When you say time has collapsed, could you explain that a little clearer?
Well, if you start studying quantum physics, you'll begin to, you know, the scientists are talking about this now. What they've realized is that you can actually move into several different time-space continuums at the same time. So you can actually, theoretically, they have proven through experiments that you can be in the future and the past. And time travel. So time is a malleable, bending thing, and we, you know, in 3D reality for a long time, in current time, we believe that it's fixed. So the scientists now know that that's not the case, and they've done the experiments to prove that. But in metaphysics, we do that all the time. We can be in ancient Egypt, and we can be a blade of grass. We can be a Venusian and a Syrian and a Pleiadian all at the same time, or at least have total recall of various states of being. And ultimately we talk about the unified field, which, you know, Deepak Chopra talks a lot about the unified field, and in quantum physics they talk about the unified field. And that is that ultimately we are one field of intelligent consciousness that has split and seems like duality, you, me, the tree, the different universes. But ultimately when we meditate, we come to the unified field, and everybody comes to that same space of peace, and that's Christ consciousness.
Right, but you know what? It seems to me that okay, we got all eternity at our disposition. We're God incarnate. Live our fingers in the hands of God.
Goddess as well.
No. God doesn't have a gender. It's that universal creative energy.
God, goddess.
Okay, fine. There's the Pingala and Ida, the negative, positive, yin yang. Sure, electromagnetic energy.
This is now the time of the goddess.
But when I say God, I don't mean God or goddess. I don't want to go. I want to go into the reality of all creative being. All right? Beyond gender and beyond the duality of the negative positive forces that do. Okay, electric negative positive negative forces create electricity. You need both. So they light up the brothel and they light up the church, and there's no judgment. It's all just fine and it's all good. And whatever it is, it is. And one needs the other to feed off the other. But I was just saying, though, what I was sort of just realizing as you were speaking and sharing with you, the audience. Thanks for tuning in to What's Ailing, Healing America. I'm Frank Craven. This is Rashmi. We're talking about metaphysics and the healing and whatnot. And now the idea of eternity and God Almighty, the Creator, the Source, there is no time. It's just... So, but we make a contract as spirits in evolution, as souls going through lifetimes of karma, to try on the carousel ride of life on planet Earth and live in limitation and ignorance and cut ourselves off from all the memory of our past lives and all our wisdom, so that we experience life as an exciting journey that we don't know what's up next. And that's the fun of it. It's like if we're playing cards, you know, we're playing a game of poker, and I know what your cards are, you know what my cards are. Well, there's no fun, you know. We got to have ignorance to enjoy life, because in eternity it's like forever and ever and ever and ever and ever and ever. So let's have some fun and play a game and play like with some ignorance for a while. You know, it seems like we've recycled and recycled many civilizations, many existences, the many upheavals, many, you know, that we've built our pyramids and we've fallen apart.
So basically what we're saying is that we're now moving into the fourth and fifth dimension, and the whole point of moving into the fourth and fifth dimension is that we've had a wonderful time in 3D reality, which is to do with linear time and space, but now the time has come for a wake-up cycle. It's 13,000 years in the ecliptic. 13,000 years ago Atlantis sank, and we think that's mythology, but it wasn't actually. So the thing is that now we are moving beyond time and space, and that doesn't mean that we don't totally honor our limitations, but ultimately we are multidimensional, limitless beings, and that is what the yogis in India understood in meditation, and that is what the African tribes understood when they knew about the Dogon and Sirius way before telescopes existed on this planet. And that is the time we're moving into, and that is why the Earth is going through a lot of change, and human DNA is going through a lot of change, and our helix are literally being transmuted from 2 to 12, because consciousness is all about evolution.
We mean the double helix, that spinning thing, is going to go from like 2 to 12?
Yes, and that's why scientists currently have seen some of the extra DNA, because they've believed it's just 2, and they call it junk DNA, but actually it's not junk DNA. It's the evolution, because we are now literally evolving, and that's what consciousness does.
So it's like the fetus, the birthing.
Consciousness has to evolve, and we're moving into a quantum leap of evolution, and we have the 100 monkey syndrome. So if we just have 100 monkeys evolving, meditating, and realizing that they are limitless beings, then we take everybody with us. Okay. There is a higher paradigm, and that's the paradigm we're moving into. It's a very exciting time, and even just majorly skeptical people now are beginning to open up to the idea of telepathy and synergy, and there's book upon book and program upon program of that synchronicity.
I'm reminded also of these Bible-thumping Christian fanatics that are clamoring for redemption, and they say, it's going to be 144 or 144,000 people are going to be saved and salvation coming into Christ consciousness. What do you think about that? Does that
actually what it is that it's the 144,000 souls have been incarnated that are called the Rainbow Warriors, and these are the souls that have come with a very high level of consciousness, so their DNA is very advanced, and they are waking up now, and as they wake up, then we carry the rest of the 6 billion with us, and when we reach the critical mass on that, then we can move from getting away from Atlantis sinking, which is us destroying ourselves, which the Revenge of Gaia and various books and scientists have said that there is a lot of global dimming and warming going on, but we can transcend this now, and we will, because we are these 144,000 souls are spreading the fire for everyone.
And you too are one of those 144,000 souls, every one of you, because like making music, you may not know how to play a guitar very well or a piano, but if you just sort of hit the chord at the beat, boom, you've amplified the orchestra and created that beautiful harmony, and music flourishes, and the more the merrier if you're in harmony and synchronization. So it's not that difficult a thing to do, to realize that you are a realized being, that you are Christ, that you are Buddha, that you are Krishna, you are Moses, you are the master teacher, you are Muhammad. Now this might seem blasphemous, and that's the problem with religions, because it sort of separates us. I salute the prophet. No. The prophet has taught us that we are the incarnation of God. We are divine light. To err as human is the phrase? No. To be human, it means you are divine. That means you have access to perfection, and it is beautiful to be alive, and we live in paradise. We live in a beautiful planet full of flowers and nature and ecology, which is rumbling now like never before. Earth is going through changes. And I'm going to get back to something you were saying about 13,000 years. It's funny, because I was told that the galaxy, the whole Milky Way, goes in a cycle in 26,000 year cycles.
That's right.
So it's like we're completing this whole cycle of our solar system, going in a full cycle back to source, and now we begin the new flourishing.
This is the wake-up cycle now. We went, for 13,000 years, we went into the age of the dark. We call it Kali Yuga in our Sanskrit texts, the ancient Vedantic texts that are millions of thousands of years old. And now we are moving into the age of light, the cosmology of light. And what is light? Light is information. Light is love. Light is unity consciousness. It is time for us to wake up, to embrace each other, and to see the oneness and the harmony, and bring new harmonics so that our children can move into an age of creativity and love and oneness, as opposed to destruction and war and the rest of it. So it's an exciting time, and as Babaji says, truth, love, and simplicity, and sharing. Share and save the world. Let's share what we have, our love, our energy, our time. This is an abundant earth, and we can also maybe embrace our brothers and sisters in higher consciousness in times to come.
Right on. Thank you.
From other planets.
As the Lord had said, love thy enemy, love thy neighbor. So anytime I get some Muslim fanatic spouting Islamic jihad against America, I want to learn Arabic and study his Quran and talk to him intensely and come to common ground and maybe reason with him. Or a communist versus a capitalist. Well, there's an economic system, We've got to come to terms, and we can come to terms. Maybe we all can't agree. It's a crowded world. We're always going to step on someone's toes here. But basically, we're all just one family. There's only one race, the human race. And there's no need for prejudice or war. War was glorious in the past when we didn't have television or satellites. The enemy's over the hill. We got to go conquer them and save our watering hole. Fine. But nowadays, through television and video and the internet, hey, we know that our brothers and sisters in Iraq and Afghanistan don't deserve any bombs or foreign troops on their land, just like we don't want foreign troops on our land. So let's come to terms with peace and harmony, pray for peace, and know that God consciousness throughout all of history has been available to us. Love and light is always available to us. And it's very simple. Just enter the silence and accept the fact that we are part of this beautiful process.
And know that you know. Don't doubt your knowingness. Namaste.
Namaste.
The God in me bows to the God in you.
Uh-huh. Oh, that's what that means. Namaste. The God in me bows to the God in you. That's one last thing before we close. Babaji is the eternal yogi, right?
Christ yogi, yes.
Christ, he's like...
And he's an ascended master of this planet. He's a custodian. He taught Jesus, Elijah, and Moses. And
everyone gets to call upon Babaji, or just a select few?
No. Babaji stands for Om Namah Shivaya. Om Namah Shivaya means I love myself, I honor myself, God, Goddess dwell within me as me. So ultimately, the guru that we look for, the higher self, the gods, all that is within us. We are the goddess. The time of the goddess has come.
Yeah, the
and
feminine energy.
The goddess energy is all to do with receptivity, love, and allowing, being, and creating. That is the goddess energy, and it exists in men as much as in women. And a lot of evidence of this goddess energy is now on the planet. People are seeing the Madonna and various aspects of the goddess, and men are really, becoming into their feminine as well, and women are.
Right, and women are getting more political favor and rights and justice.
The balance is coming through. So it's a wonderful, wonderful time, and it's time to give up doubt, fear, and limitation, which is what the mind does. The mind is like a machine, and to come into your higher self, which comes through connecting with the heart. So the heart energy is the all-powerful energy. How does one feel? So don't be afraid of your feelings, because your feelings will take you to your knowingness, and your knowingness is your higher inner light, your truth, the God, Goddess within you.
Right on. And when you follow your heart, you're free. You work very hard, but you enjoy what you're doing, and the work is enjoyable. Like anyone who's successful, a workaholic, a doctor, a lawyer, or an artist or a musician, they just work like crazy because they love it. And that's what we got to do. We got to love our work. So you're into working as a healer and an energy teacher and all that stuff, and you love it, and it's giving you've been able to sustain yourself with that, all right?
Yes, I've been doing this work for the last 15 years, and it's been a great honor and a privilege to be, facilitating the teaching for scientists, doctors, lawyers. All sorts of people learn these energy modalities, and it's not a woo-woo thing. It's a very down-to-earth, it brings results, mental results, emotional results, physical results, and spiritual results. It leads to simpleness and creativity, synergy, and co-creation. So highly recommended to everyone.
And I just want to interject that we're not trying to formulate a cult or any kind of worship of you or anybody or me or anybody who has some handle on the universe or cosmic ideologies.
It's about empowerment.
It's just empowering you in the full and certain knowledge that you as a human being, when you look in the mirror, see yourself as a soul that's millions of years old, if not eternal and divine. Not just a human being, okay, my time's running out, I'm going to die soon, or I'm this. No. See yourself as eternal, and all of a sudden, you gather more energy, you gather more awareness, you gather more insight, and because you give your imagination permission to play and go to places that you'd never thought you could go before. But that's exactly how, engineers build bridges. They, imagine a bridge there, and then they drop the plans. Next thing you know, there's a bridge there. Or an artist sees a blank canvas. Next thing you know, there's a beautiful painting there. We have to give our imagination free rein to believe we can live in a peaceful world, and we can, do without if we don't have money for food, or have manifest money when we need it, or love when we need it, or things that instead of
it's 2:30.
Boom, 2:30. So 2:30 is the time I used to pray for peace around the world. I have at 2:30 in the afternoon. There's a band of prayer for human rights from Authority vs. Majority, play stage years ago for human rights. And it's good to, at 12 noon there's a band of prayer for healing that started with the AIDS movement, and that's being healed. And cancer can be healed. Anything that's no problem, it can be healed. Cleanse your liver, raw food, deep breaths. Believe that it can be healed, because there's the power to the disease to kill versus the power of God's to heal. Where do
I
you
would say
stand?
not just believe, just know that wholeness and completeness can happen at any moment just through knowing it. And that is, healing. That's what the meaning of healing. The word healing comes from the word holy, and that's to make whole and complete. And that includes the dark within us, that which we judge as bad, and like our appetites and our angers and our fears and our jealousies. It's time to embrace the dark into the light of us. That's very important.
Well,
to heal.
we just have a minute left, folks. Thanks for tuning in to What's Ailing, Healing America. It's our job to take democracy back, and demos kratos. Demos is people, kratos power. We are the people, we're the power. We can impeach the president for democracy. We can heal ourselves. We can do it, believe it or not. Thanks, Rashmi.
Lovely. Great.
I want to thank Gloria Messser for taping this, and Eminent Studios for facilitating the airing and broadcasting. You go to www.mnn.org and see the show web streamed.
And my website is www.reiki-energy-mastery.com. That's www.reiki-energy-mastery.com. And I teach in London and various world destinations.
Terrific.
Thank you, Frank. How is that?
Hallelujah.
Were you happy with that?